Tony Williams had walked the same hallway every weekday for 12 years. Same elevator, same 6:46 a.m. arrival, same gray cubicle on the fifth floor. She was the kind of employee corporate systems dream of. Punctual, committed, never causing waves. Tony wasn't flashy. Her work spoke for itself. Code clean enough to be taught, reports thorough enough to impress even the stingiest department head. She trained interns, mentored juniors, fixed bugs others gave up on. Her email signature had never changed. Her title had, once, in year 7, from infrastructure associate to infrastructure lead. 12 years. Not a complaint. Not a sick day for the last 5. Not a scandal. Not even a rumor. She carried her coffee in a reusable mug that said, "Reliable women build reliable systems," a gift from a former intern named Priya, now at Google. But that Monday morning, when she turned into her row of desks, something was different. Someone was in her seat. A white man, young, maybe 26, leaned back, feet nearly up on her drawer, humming through his earbuds. Her monitor, her chair, her handwritten sticky notes on the side of the desk. Still there, except for her nameplate, which was gone. She paused, unsure whether to laugh or scream. "Excuse me," she said carefully. "Can I help you?" He pulled out an earbud. "Oh, hey, I'm Trevor. Just started today. They told me to sit here." "Here?" Her voice cracked slightly. This has been my workstation for years." He blinked as if she were being difficult. "I don't know. HR assigned me this spot. I guess they moved you?" Tony stood frozen. Around her, the office was filling up with Monday morning life. The same people she'd greeted for over a decade shuffled in with Starbucks cups, half asleep and oblivious. No one looked her way. She walked slowly to her manager's office. A knock, a pause. "Jason," she said through the crack in the door. "I need to talk to you." Jason was in his mid-40s, wore all birds and a Patagonia vest like a uniform. "Oh, hey, Tony," he said, not looking up. "Yeah, let's catch up later today. Crazy morning." I just, "There's a new guy at my desk, Trevor. He says it's been assigned to him." Jason looked mildly annoyed. "Right, I was meaning to tell you. HR's been reorganizing the team structure. You've been repositioned." "Repositioned where?" "Look," he said, sighing, "we're bringing in some fresh faces. New energy. You know how it is. The industry's changing." She waited for the part where he said, "Of course, you're still vital to the team," but it didn't come. Instead, he added, "Check in with HR today. They'll walk you through next steps." The HR woman's name was Liza. Blonde, cheerful, polished. She smiled too much. "We've appreciated everything you've contributed, Tony. Really, you've been such a cornerstone." "Am I being fired?" Tony asked flatly. "We don't like to frame it that way," Lisa said gently. "Your position has been made redundant, but we're offering a very generous severance, 12 weeks pay, and of course, glowing recommendations." "Why me?" Tony asked. "Why not someone newer?" Liza's smile thinned. "We evaluated a number of factors, such as, we'd rather not disclose internal metrics." Tony sat stiffly. "I've given this company 12 years. And we're grateful," Liza said, folding her hands. "But evolution is part of any organization's journey." That evening, Tony walked home in silence. Her apartment in Bronzeville felt different, like the walls knew she'd lost something. Her mother called. Tony didn't pick up. She stared at the city outside her window. Cars, sirens, life. And in all of it, she felt invisible. The first week, she stayed quiet, signed the paperwork, filed for unemployment, talked to no one. The second week, the whispers started. "Did you hear Tony left?" "Yeah, weird timing. They replaced her with that Trevor guy, fresh out of college, hired straight into lead?" "I thought she was lead." She saw it on LinkedIn, Trevor's new post. Excited to be joining Rise Tech as lead infrastructure engineer. Looking forward to shaking things up. Her job, her desk, her legacy, gone. By the third week, Tony had enough. She contacted a civil rights lawyer. His name was Marcus Hill, and his voice was calm, deliberate, and angry on her behalf. "Sounds like a textbook discrimination case," and he said. "You have documentation? Emails? Performance reviews?" All positive, Tony said. Perfect, Marcus said. Then we fight. It started small. A letter, then depositions, then the company's response. Denial, of course. They'd claim restructuring, meritocracy, strategic realignment. But the numbers told the truth. Of the 7 employees laid off during the reorganization, 5 were black, all replaced within 2 months by white hires. Some less qualified, some with no experience at all. The more Tony dug, the more she saw. A quiet purge. And still, people at the company said nothing. Not even Priya from Google replied to her messages. It was lonely, but not as lonely as giving up. The case moved forward. News picked it up. Discrimination lawsuit filed against RiseTech. Tony's photo appeared. Professional, calm, composed. But the comments on the article weren't kind. Another diversity hire whining about merit. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. She probably got the job because she was black. Tony read them all and kept going. In court, she sat across from her former manager. Jason didn't look at her once. When asked why Tony was let go, he gave polished non-answers. Team agility, structural optimization, forward-facing priorities. Marcus stood and asked one question. Can you point to a single documented failure on Ms. Williams' part? Silence. Then, no. The verdict came 3 weeks later. RiseTech was found liable for wrongful termination based on discriminatory practices. They were fined, ordered to issue a public apology. Tony was awarded damages, but it didn't feel like victory. Months later, she stood outside that same building. RiseTech's logo shined on polished glass. Inside, they were already moving on. Trevor still posted memes. The same people walked the same halls. Tony walked away, not broken, not angry, but changed. Because loyalty should mean something. Because talent should not be invisible. Because being black should never make you expendable.